2 years have passed since Darius was taken ill, and one night he tells Edwin that he will never go downstairs again.
Well, if Nurse says we can't go up and see him yet, then I suppose we can't.
She wants to rearrange the room, you know.
And I'm sure she knows best about arranging a room. Although, to tell the truth, I must speak as I find. And I, for one, have never found fault with the way you arrange a room, Maggie.
Nor have I, Maggie. Nor has Father, I'm sure. I expect she has her own way of doing things.
Oh, yes. Whereabouts would you say she came from, Maggie? From the Five Towns, is she?
I don't think so. From the south, I believe.
Oh. I once took a girl in from the south for a bit, but I'm sorry to say she didn't shape up.
Dr. Eve said he'd heard well of her.
And I'm sure that's word enough for me. I said to myself when Albert came round, and God bless you for sending him round to tell me, Clara, I said to myself, your father's due for every comfort that we can provide. He's such a wonderful, wonderful man that, no, your auntie mustn't get tearful now. We must all bear up and be brave, and with God's help we shall.
Which room is she going to sleep in, Maggie? I've given her mine. I shall go in the spare.
She's in your room, Maggie.
Well, yes. I wasn't quite sure what to do. She isn't a servant, is she?
Well, no. You couldn't call her a servant.
No, a nurse isn't a servant.
But I would have thought the spare room.
Well, she's in my room now.
Now, very kind-hearted it is of you, dear. After all, she'll be doing the night duty, so she must be close to your father.
That's what I thought.
But one thing I would ask you to remember, Maggie. You are the housekeeper here. It's best to be clear about that.
She says it's all right for us to go up now.
Just think, Darius, you've got a nurse. Dr. Eve telephoned for her himself, you know. And anything as you're wanting, you've only got to ask. That's why she's here, to fetch for you.
You'll soon be strong again, Father. I know you will. You'll soon be up and about.
I know as the good Lord will answer our prayers, and you'll be yourself in no time at all.
I made my will.
Yes, of course you have.
Did I tell you I'd made my will?
Yes, Father. Don't worry about that now.
I left the business to Edwin. And all the rest is divided between you two, wenches.
Don't worry about that now, Father. Why are you thinking so much about your will? No, Father. Father, you must stay there.
Don't go disturbing yourself, Darius. If you want anything, I'm sure the nurse will get it for you.
Just a minute then, Father.
I want you.
He wants you to wind it up.
No, he doesn't. He knows it's wound up. It's correct to a tick.
I want you. I want you.
Take it, Edwin. Perhaps he wants you to put it away.
I want him.
I know what he wants. He wants to give dear Edwin the watch because Edwin's been so kind to him, helping him to dress every day and looking after him just like a professional nurse. Don't you, dear? And he wants to show his gratitude. You must put it on, mustn't he, Father? There, Father.
Thanks, Father, but there was no occasion.
Now you see what it is to be a good son.
What is it, Father?
I must have Ace. I must have a watch here.
He wants your old one in exchange.
There, Father.
Oh, I am sorry. I didn't realize you were all still in here. I thought I'd sleep, but I couldn't. So as I had some letters to write, I decided to write them in here and let everyone else off.
Nurse, this is my aunt, Mrs. Hamps.
How do you do, nurse?
I'm very pleased to meet you.
And my sister Clara, Mrs. Benbow.
How do you do? How do you do, Mrs. Benbow? Oh, dear now, Mr. Clayhanger. Have you been disturbing yourself? Well, that won't do at all, you know. If you go roaming all over the bed, I shall have to find a method of tying you down. Look how bumpy your poor old pillow's got. You'll have your head go all bumpy as well.
What a good thing it is that nurse is so cheerful.
There now, that should be more comfortable.
Well, nurse, I suppose we mustn't tire our patient.
No, we mustn't risk doing that.
Now, Father, we must leave you because nurse says so. And you just have a mind to take care of yourself and do whatever nurse tells you because I'm sure nurse knows best. I shall be in to see you in the morning. Oh, that is, of course, if nurse says I may. We must all do what she tells us because I'm sure she knows best. No. You rest and God bless.
Goodbye, Father. Goodbye.
Clara.
I shall come and see you again tomorrow. I shall.
You gave your son your watch. That's so wonderful.
I think you should rest for a little now. I shall sit where you can see me, over there. You've nothing to worry about. I shall take care of you.
Come in.
I'm just going in with Father for a bit. I thought I'd give Nurse a little time off this evening. She's been setting up with him all these nights, and I took a look in her room just now and saw that she'd fallen off to sleep.
She must have had a tiring time this past month, especially the last week or so.
Yes, that's what I thought. She's bound to wake soon, but I thought I'd let her sleep for a little while.
How is he this evening?
No better than he was. Mr. Orgreave came in this afternoon to ask after him. I did think that was kind. And Jan and Alicia were in this morning.
I wonder if I ought to go to this thing.
Oh, don't be foolish, Eddie. Why shouldn't you?
Well, I don't like leaving you while he's like he is.
I don't see as how he'll get any worse tonight. And it's not as if I'm alone.
All the same, perhaps I ought to stay. 'Tis only the felons, after all.
I have elected you a member, Eddie.
Oh, they did that in a bit of a rush and all. I'm not bothered with them. What's the felons to me?
You'll enjoy yourself, you know you will. And if I do say it, you look very spruce.
Oh,
Well, I think the change will do you good. You must consider your own health, you know. How long is it you'll be out? 5 hours at the most, that's all it'll be. I tell you this, and I mean it, Eddie. I shall be very angry if you stay away.
what about you? Don't you need a change? Don't you have to look after your own health?
I don't see that's got anything to do with it. You do as I tell you, and you go along.
Gentlemen, the toast is Her Majesty the Queen. Her Majesty the Queen.
The greatest empire since the Roman Empire, and by the grace of God, yet greater still, the great and glorious British Empire.
Gentlemen, the toast is the great and glorious British Empire.
The
British Empire! The toast is the ministers of the established church and other denominations.
The ministers of the established church and other denominations.
The town and trade of Bursley!
Oh, let's have some more champagne.
Quite right, Miss Rowgrave.
On my bill.
No, it's my turn, I think.
Oh, I insist.
No, really, put it down to me.
Oh, I surrender. Perhaps we'd better have some more cigars.
Yes, and 3 more cigars.
Blimey, it's lucky I brought £2.
It's quite a decent champagne, don't you think so, Miss Rowgrave?
I agree, Mr. Bembo. It's not at all bad.
You know, I had some at a dinner in Hambridge the other night that was... I couldn't describe to you what it was like. It certainly wasn't anything like the price.
Edwin, what's your opinion of this champagne?
Oh, I'm not a good judge, I'm afraid.
Your own palate's the only judge. My palate likes it, so it's a good champagne.
Oh, there's no better than to do us felons down. They wouldn't do us felons down, especially when we hold our dinner here in court. But is that right, Miss Strawgrave? Is it right to hold our dinner here?
I'll tell you one thing for sure. I've never seen a courtroom put to better use.
Oh, come, Miss Strawgrave. You're a magistrate now. I'd have thought you'd have had more respect for the law.
Respect for the law?
Yeah.
Most law is futile and sometimes mischievous. As for being a magistrate, the chief use people put me to is to sign the necessary forms for pawn tickets they've lost. Had an old woman come to my office this morning. Asked her why it was they were always losing their pawn tickets. I told her. I said, I've never lost mine.
Well, that was funny, wasn't it? Of course it was. They all take me from my father now.
Gentlemen, pray silence, please, for your president, Mr. Jos Curtenti.
As you may be aware, tonight we find ourselves in competition for the interest and attention of the populace. Some of us thought it was a bit of a shame that those people known as the powers that be should decide to hold a by-election on the very day following an event like this. Oh, some of us thought it was a shame. Some of us thought it damn cheap. But decisions of that sort are made in Ambridge, and will none of us feel responsible for what comes from there. I shall not mention the word politics tonight, nor tell you where my sympathies lie. But to tell you how to vote, I wouldn't dream of it. Tea? I like a good cup. Oh! What shall I say next? You all agreed with me. Why can I keep my mouth shut? Tory! 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 Tory!
They're all Tory, aren't they? Nearly all of them. It's the cream of Bursley here tonight, and how many of them who's not Conservative? Well, they're not fools, are they? They can't all be wrong. Perhaps it's me who's wrong.
The amount of your time. Though liberal time is time you might leave it alone. You got wet, O'Grady, very sharp wet.
You know, I really ought to be going.
Oh, nonsense, Edwin. It's early yet. When you're under a woman's thumb like Bembo is, you'll have to leave when needed, so you might as well make the most of it. Anyway, I've ordered another bottle of champagne.
Oh.
I thought the candidate looked pretty fit when he called in just now, didn't you, Cotentin?
Oh, well, he's a good man, is Empson, you know. He's a good Conservative.
And that was a baronet with him, I believe.
So I'm told, Mr. Robson, so I'm told. He's got the right connections to do well in the House.
What house would that be? The public house?
Well, now you can joke, Mr. Clayhanger, but the country's finished if that Labour man gets in.
All the power go to then. There'll be a parliament full of straight corner rabble. I'm proud to be British. I am. Too proud to say a go down like that.
What about trusting to the people?
Well, if trusting to the people means being under the thumb of the British working man, my boy, you can scratch me out for one.
Well, I've always found them pretty decent.
How many hands do you employ, Mr. Clayhanger?
14.
Do you?
I wish I could make as much money as you do out of 14 hands. I've got 200 at my place, and I know them. I've known them for 40 years and more, and there's not 10 of them as I'd trust to do an honest day's work of their own accord.
Well...
Now, come on, I'm right, aren't I? You know I'm right. Us employers see too much of the working man to be taken into the easy shout.
Well...
Laborals? Well, we've had a Laboral member for these towns for years. There's nothing wrong with Laborals, or didn't used to be, before this blasted Home Rule bit and before they took up with Labour. Now, it's a Labour man that's standing here, you know. Not Laboral. Labour. That Gower is Labour. Remember that. And forget it tomorrow when you go up post.
Oh, here's our champagne. I must say, politics gives you a thirst. Let's have your glass, Edwin. Oh, he's one of us, really, Cotentin.
We're all together, that's as I see it. And with a bit of luck, we'll all survive to drink some more of this next year, eh?
Hang on, Edwin.
Thank you.
To us, Fallon!
To the Fallon!
Hello, here's Bembo back again.
You want some champagne, Bembo?
Excuse me a second.
Anything wrong, Albert?
It's nothing particular. But the missus has been round to see your father tonight, and it seems that the nurse has taken back. She thought perhaps I'd better come and tell you, in case you hadn't gone.
I'm going right now. Oh, Doctor.
May I have a word, Mr. Clayhanger?
Yes, of course.
I'm glad you've come. Nurse, I'm afraid, is suffering very badly with her ear. It's quite serious, and I've insisted she goes to bed. Meantime, your sister's trying to do everything herself, and she's very tired. And it's all too much for one person, I'm afraid.
I've been out to the dinner.
Yes, I hear. Now, I know your sister will try to persuade you to go to bed. She thinks that with your business worries, you shouldn't have to concern yourself with this.
Well, that's nonsense.
I hoped you'd feel like that.
Well, of course I feel like that.
Good.
Is Father worse, then?
He's beginning to show symptoms of Cheyne-Stokes breathing. It's the final and the worst phenomenon of the disease. Very rare, actually. I'm afraid it's a little frightening to see. I've done all I can to ease it for him with injections, you know, but there's absolutely nothing that anyone can do except to be with him and to watch. He's trying to fight, but if he doesn't succeed, the end could come at any time.
Yes, I shall be all right with him. Don't you worry till the morning.
I'll come in the night.
You'll do no such thing. Get all the sleep you can.
But the nurse has to have a fresh poultice every 2
Now,
hours.
Luke, here, do show a little sense. Get all the sleep you can. We shall be having you ill next, and then there'll be a nice kettle of fish. I won't have you coming in here. I shall be perfectly all right. Now.
You won't be fit for the shop tomorrow.
Damn the shop.
Well, you know where everything is. If you want to make some tea...
All right. Confounded nuisance, women are. I'd never have gone out if it hadn't been for her.
Miss Nurse.
She's not well. She's lying down. I'm going to sit with you tonight. You want a drink?
There's a tartar, but there's just... we'll have our own way.
My head's throbbing. My mouth's so dry. Well, what else can I expect? After all that food and wine. Was I ever at that dinner? Was I really ever there? My God, what a shallow, self-satisfied crowd. What about me? I was one of them too. While he was lying there, like that all the time. Politics. What are they? What do politics mean when you're lying there?
Don't leave me!
It's all right. I'm here.
Clara! Clara!
It's all right, you're all right. There's nothing to be afraid of. Is he dying? He must be. There's no man on earth could live through this. Isn't there anything we can do? Isn't there anything at all?
Clara! Clara!
Bouts in the last hour. 78 since I've been in this room. I know one damn thing I've learned tonight. I've learned about the will to live. Not one of them knows. Not one of those complacent fools who sat at that blasted banquet there. They know nothing of life, nothing at all. Let them try watching a human animal fighting his way through a thing like this. Chain Stokes breathing. Let them watch that. Then they might learn what reality is. He's dragged to his death 36 times an hour, and 36 times an hour he scrambles back. Did the whole house hear that? Didn't it wake them all? I need to do. Why does he call for Clara? Oh yes, she weeps for him when he's there. But behind his back, she's something else. Maggie's been with him for 40 years, and never once she been unkind. Except about the mushrooms. Why couldn't we both have let him grow mushrooms? What harm would it have done us? Supposing he had hurt himself, supposing your dad been a nuisance, what then? Why couldn't we just let him do what he wanted? It's all right. It's all right. I'm here. I'm not leaving you.
Is it Edwin?
Yes. You're a bit better now, aren't you? He got through the night.
Roll Charlie! Roll Tempson! Roll Tempson! Queen and Empire! Queen and Empire! Roll Tempson! Roll
Stupid, blasted asses. You should have heard what he was saying about you all last night.
Charlie! Wide opening, Bolton!
You're not men, you're sheep. There's nothing you wouldn't swallow for a glass of beer. Served you damn well right if the Tory did get in. Not that he will, not in this town. Surely we haven't turned that daft.
Just 4 words in big letters is what they want, sir. Tory Empson romping in.
Rubbish.
Sorry, sir?
Within the hour?
Oh, yes, sir. He says they must get them up.
I bet they must. They want to spread the good news. Encourage the Tories and depress the others.
Well, folk like to vote for the winner, sir.
Did you tell him we could do it?
I said I thought we could,
We
sir.
do have other commitments, Stifford. I can't throw the works out of joint just to print this.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry, sir. I just assumed that this would take precedence. It always has done at election time. We've always done their printing, sir.
Well, I'm not sure we can do it now.
Well, he said he couldn't risk that Labour man getting in. That's why I said that we could do it. Then when he said about taking it to Benyon's instead...
Yes, well, all right. We'll do it this time. Tell him he can have them within the hour.
Yes, right, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah, James. Tory poster, 100 copies within the hour.
Aye, sir.
I said we could do it. We always do their printing.
Oh, so we do, anyway. We've not too much else on this day.
Right.
I would like to ask you something, sir.
Yes.
If you could give me 3 days off, sir, I'd take it kindly.
Why? What's up now, James?
My old comrade, Abraham Harricles, is dead, sir, at Glasgow. I'm wishing to attend his interment, far as it is. He was living with his daughter. She's written to me. If you could make it convenient to...
Oh, of course,
me.
of course.
I'm very obliged, sir. I'm the last now, sir, of the old Glee party.
Really?
How's the old gentleman, sir? Sorry, sir.
I've been up with him all night.
I wonder if you'd mind dropping me a line to Glasgow, sir, if anything happens. I could give you the address.
Certainly.
If it isn't...
You can go now if you
Oh,
want.
no, I've got time, sir. I'm not casting my vote until 9:30.
And what's your party, James?
Oh, if you'll forgive my saying so, sir, I'm for Her Most Gracious Majesty.
Oh.
Mr. Contenti's driving me to the polling booth. Yeah, he made the offer. It was most handsome, I thought.
Yes. Politics.
Is there anything at all I can do, Maggie?
I don't think so, Janet.
If you'd like some tea, I can go to the kitchen and ask Jane to make some.
Would anyone care for tea? Tea, Auntie?
Oh, no, Maggie, dear. I truly don't think I could take you down, not while the doctor's still with him.
No, thank you, Maggie.
Not for me, thank you, Miss Clayhanger. I'm afraid it's some time since I've been round.
Oh, we all know how much you have to do, Vicar. Mr. Clayhanger knows as well as anyone.
Well, there has been a lot of parish work, yes, but when I met my brother today and he told me how things were, I thought to myself that I must call in now.
And we're so grateful that you have. It would mean so much to Mr. Clayhanger.
Maggie wants you upstairs.
Just come and look at him.
Oh, he's dead.
I think so.
When was it?
Scarcely a minute ago. I was sitting there by the fire and I thought I'd noticed something.
What did you notice?
I don't know. Let's go and tell Nurse.
He's dead. Did he have to bear so much before he could die? Did he have to die to find relief? I've never seen anything so majestic.
What majority?
439! 439!
Miserable idiots. Where's your sense? I don't care if we're beaten 40 times. I'll be more out-and-out radical than ever. I will. I don't care, and I don't care. I'm a free man now, whatever else. And I'm free to think the way I choose.
She must be quite 59.
Stuff. She can't be anything like as much as that.
Yes. She must be 59.
I don't care if she's 159. Any more coffee? Hot, that is.
I hope you didn't forget to order that inkstand after all. It's not been sent up yet, and I want to take it down myself to Auntie this morning. You know what a lot she thinks of such things.
Well, it won't come till tomorrow.
But Edwin, how's that?
How's that? Well, if you want to know, I didn't order it till yesterday. I can't think of everything.
It's very annoying.
Some people seem to think I've nothing better to do down at my shop but order birthday presents.
I asked you if you'd get it, and you said you would.
I know I said I would. In spite of the fact I'm doing my best to cut out the retail side of the trade, in spite of the fact that it's a vulgar knick-knack we're only getting to pander to Auntie's taste, I said I'd get it, and I forgot.
I do think you might be a little more polite.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Sometimes you get positively unbearable. Everybody notices.
Who's everybody?
You never mind.
Everybody notices. Do they? Well, I suppose I do get a bit porcupinish from time to time, but she knows I don't mean it. Maggie knows that.
I wonder who that is.
How should I know?
I'll go myself.
I really must turn over a fresh new leaf.
Well, Auntie, what a surprise.
A long life and a merry one. Oh, thank you, dear. But I mustn't disturb you. I'll just come into the dining room for a minute, that's all. I know Edwin comes up from the shop for his breakfast from 9 to 10, and I'm not going to interfere with his routine. He works so hard, the poor boy. Now, don't let me disturb you, please.
Long life and a merry one, Auntie.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's very kind. Will you believe me? Those little darlings of Clara's were up at my house before 8 o'clock this morning.
Is Amy's cough better?
Oh, bless you. I was in such a fluster I forgot to ask the little toddler. But I didn't hear her cough. Oh, I do hope it is. October's a bad month for colds to begin. I ought to have asked. But your auntie's getting an old woman.
We were just arguing whether you were 38 or 39, Auntie.
Oh, what a tease he is with his beard. Well, your old auntie is 60 this day.
60? You're the finest 60 I ever saw.
Oh.
There's a little parcel for you, but it's in Manchester. Won't be here till tomorrow. My fault entirely. You know how awful I am for putting off things.
We quite expected it would be here today.
Oh, please, please don't talk about parcels. All I want is your love. You children are all I have now. If you knew how proud I am of you all, seeing you all so nice and good and respected in the town, well, what more could your auntie ask for, eh? There's my dear nephew Edwin, one of the chief tradesmen in Bursley, and oh, so fond of his books and such a reader, and so quiet in his habits. And look at my two nieces. Oh, just look at them. So well provided for by their dear father. And Maggie so dependable and oh, so kind. And Clara's little darling's beginning to run along and oh, such strong little things.
Shall you be in tomorrow, Auntie?
Yes, I shall. I shall be mending curtains.
Then I shall call about 11. It won't be too soon if I pop in the shop a little before 11.
No, it's not often Sutton's deliveries after 10. That'll be all right. I'll have it unpacked. I've one.
Oh, I shall have you a rap on the knuckles in a minute. I can't quite make out who this little nephew is that Janet Orgreave is taking about.
Little nephew that Janet's taking about? Do you know?
When?
Well, this morning I met them as I was coming up. She was on one side of the road and the child was on the other, just opposite Howson's. My belief is she's lost control of the little jockey. Ah, a regular little jockey. Oh, you could see that at once. Now, George, come along, she called to him. Then he shouted, I want you to come on this side, Auntie. Well, of course, I couldn't stop to see it out. I mean, she was so busy with him, she just waved to me.
George. How old is he about?
7 or 8, I should say.
It couldn't be one of Tom's children, nor Alessia's.
No, and as I understand it, the eldest girl, what's her name?
Marion.
Marion's are all girls.
I believe they are, aren't they, Edwin?
How can I tell?
Charlie Orgreave isn't married, is he?
No.
Charlie Orgreave may be married. You never know. It's a funny old world. I suppose you've seen in the paper this morning your friend Charles Stewart Parnell is dead.
I've seen that Parnell is dead. I saw it on the posters as I came up. I don't mean to be uncharitable, but it was the best thing he could do. And I hope we've had the end of all this home rule now. I always knew it was wicked. But when one of their leaders is the cause of destroying a marriage by indulging himself in bodily sin, then all I can say is it's proof to me that home rule was never blessed by God. Your auntie believes that sin is the devil's work, and those who scorn Christ will have to pay. Oh, I don't know what's come over things. But with that, and what with all those terrible baccarat scandals, and the Prince of Wales, and oh, I don't know. And now there's this free education, too, that we ratepayers have to pay for.
Well, never mind.
Can you let me have those measurements, Maggie? I'm on my way to Brunt's.
Yes, Auntie. Will you come up to my room?
Well, if you're quite sure you finished your breakfast.
Oh, yes, quite sure.
Well, I'll come up then. Goodbye, Edwin, dear. I dare say you'll have left for the business when I come back down. Now, don't you work too hard. Your auntie says you must take care of yourself.
I will, Auntie.
Well, you be sure now.
Why should I be ashamed of my opinions? Parnell was a great man. I know he was. He was 45 years old. Now he's dead. My age, he was famous. He was a power by then. What am I? Sitting here eating bacon and eggs in a dining room in Bleakridge. That's what I am. I sometimes wonder if I'm alive. That's the nephew, is it then? Good morning. Come in, will you?
Good morning.
You're out early.
Yes, we've just been down to the post office to send a telegram, haven't we, George? Oh, no, just see that.
Well, young man.
I thought I'd just run in and introduce my latest nephew to you, and then that will be over.
Come into the drawing room, will you? Maggie's upstairs. You can leave this a bit. Sit down, will you?
I don't care for that boy. I'd say he was spoiled.
And which particular nephew is this? I may tell you he's already raised a great deal of curiosity in the town.
Oh, has he? Well, he isn't my nephew at all, really. But we pretend he is, don't we, George? It's cosier. This is Master George Cannon.
Cannon? You don't mean...
You remember Mrs. Cannon, don't you? Hilda Lessways. Now, Georgie, come and shake hands with Mr. Clayhanger. Won't you shake hands, George? I'm afraid he's rather shy.
Oh, good heavens. I thought you'd heard nothing from Mrs. Cannon for a long time now.
Well, we haven't. I only brought him down from London yesterday.
Is she here too, Mrs. Cannon?
Oh, no, no.
Auntie, can I go into this garden? There's a swing there.
Oh, no, that isn't our garden. We must go home. We only just called in. And big boys who won't shake hands.
Yes, let him go into the garden for a minute if he wants to. You can't run off like that.
All right, then, but not for long now.
I'll put that swing up for Clara's children, but it doesn't get nearly enough use, really. How old is he?
About 9.
He doesn't look it.
No, but he talks it sometimes.
By the way, what's Mr. Cannon?
She's a widow.
How long?
It was last year, I think.
You never told me.
Truth is, we didn't know.
Of course she won't come to Bursley. She'd be ashamed to meet me.
Poor thing's had a great deal of trouble, a very great deal. George's health now, the sea air doesn't suit him, and Hilda couldn't possibly leave Brighton.
Oh, she's still in Brighton?
Yes.
Let me see. She used to be at, what was it? Preston Street.
What a memory you've got. Why, it's 10 years since she was here.
Nearly. It just happened to stick in my mind. You remember she came down to the shop to talk about trains and things the day she left?
Did she?
Why is she bound to stay in Brighton?
She's got a boarding house.
Oh, I see. Well, it's a good thing she's got a private income of her own.
That's just the point. We very much doubt if she has any private income now.
Auntie?
Come along, we must go now.
No, I want you to swing me.
George!
Let him swing a bit. I'll go and swing him. I'll come and swing you.
He's dreadfully spoiled. You make him worse.
I don't care. It's not spoiled to want a bit of a swing. Now, hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Go on. Go on.
4.
This is Hilda's. This is hers. She was a virgin when she left me, and at some moment, while I was alive and here, she gave her body to Cannon, and she conceived. She gave birth to this, a new being, something fresh, unlike any other in the universe. And this might have been mine. No, it ought to have been.
Oh, you want any more? You don't tell me your name, you know. How do I know what your name is? George, yes, but George what? George is nothing by itself. I know 10 million Georges.
George Edwin Cannon.
Goodbye, Mr. Clayhanger. Goodbye, Maggie.
Goodbye. Oh, very odd.
What?
Well, isn't it?
time I was getting back to the shop. George Edwin Cannon. 59 Preston Street, Brighton.